Hey everyone, Dr. Zio here again, and today we're here to talk about Power Rangers Cosmic Fury Episode 2, Beyond Repair. Now, as always, we'll go ahead and do our summary, likes, dislikes, and then conclusion. Now this episode is all about checking in on Earth and making sure everything is okay. So again, they're mostly on Earth, basically preparing for the impending Lord Zed invasion. Now, Izzy does go to Ion's Cafe to check in with Warden Garcia, Jane, and Jayborg and bring them up to speed on everything that's going on. She does tell them that there's an impending invasion from Lord Zed and to keep their eyes peeled, but Warden Garcia does say that we're not going to warn the city just yet because we don't want to cause like a mass panic. On that end, Izzy does end up warning world leaders as well as relief agencies just in case. On the flip side of things, Javi is still dealing with the fact that he still only has one arm. And that's something I want to talk about in my likes here, so I'm going to just shelve that for now. But we're also dealing with the fact that Ollie is still evil and kind of, incapacitated at this moment. Additionally, Dr. Ikana does make an appearance in this episode, and she and Amelia are working together to recreate the cure from Season 2 when Ollie originally became evil through Lord Zed's shenanigans. They're basically trying to make a higher dosage of this cure so that they can cure Ollie and he can pal around with the Rangers and help them defeat Lord Zed again. Meanwhile, Mick has gone off into space to go find Zato. So I guess Ion showed him memories of where Zato had landed or where Zato had been teleported to. So Mick takes his Zord, goes and flies off to go find him. In the middle of all this happening, Izzy goes to talk to Fern because they're both packing to leave for Oakdale College. Because remember, they both got accepted into Oakdale University or Oakdale College, and they're both trying to go off and do their thing there. But all this does get interrupted because Doudrip does end up attacking. Doudrip was the monster who turned Ollie evil, so the Rangers minus Javi go off into space and basically destroy Doudrip, and then they come back to Earth, and they figure, okay, now we have to deal with Ollie. So they go back to Dinohenge, and they figure out, okay, Dr. Ikana figures that this may be an issue with his Ranger energy, so what we can do is shoot him with energy from the Triceratops Dinohenge statue, and maybe that'll fix his connection to the Morphin Grid. So, they all get ready to set this plan into motion. On the flip side, Javi has a new cybernetic arm, which he's still trying to get used to. He hasn't quite gotten the hang of things, but Billy reassures him that he will get used to it, and Solon does as well. She basically tells him that it took me a while to get used to my cybernetic enhancements too. But the Rangers go back above ground and they use some Dino keys we haven't seen in a while. Izzy uses the Invisi Dino key to cloak Dinohenge. Meanwhile, Ion and Billy are on the outside of the cloak, and Ion uses the Vision Dino key to see and kind of track Lord Zed's henchmen, the Sentinels. So, meanwhile, on the inside of that invisible bubble, they shoot Ollie with the Dinohenge, or with the Triceratops Dinohenge energy, and that explosion knocks everyone back, including Izzy, so she can no longer hold up that force field, and Lord Zed, Sentinels, end up telling him, hey, this is where Dinohenge is. While all of this is going on, Fern also bikes over there, and she sees what's going on, and she gets intercepted by Sentinels, so Javi, he morphs, teleports up on top of Dinohenge, and defends Fern before teleporting the both of them back into Dinohenge. So Zed pops up, he ends up destroying all the Dinohenge statues except for Ollie's. Ollie convinces Lord Zed that he's evil still. The Rangers teleport back into Dinohenge and end up teleporting the whole base with an emergency button out of Dinohenge and into like 30 million light years away on a planet called Eridus. Lord Zed ends up digging into, using one of the squid drills to kind of dig into the Earth. He sees that they teleported away, so he takes Ollie, his Sentinels, as well as the Triceratops Dinohenge statue and goes back off into his Mega Squid Drill. Meanwhile, on Eridus, the Rangers are bummed about everything that's going on, but Amelia reassures them that as long as they have each other, they can do this. Lord Zed might have Earth, he might have Ollie, and he might have his squid drills, and they might not have any powers because they got cut off from the Morphin Grid, but as long as they have each other, everything's going to be okay. And that's basically where we end off this episode. Oh, and Fern also reveals that she's still on the ship, so now she's with the Rangers on Eridus as well. Now, let's go ahead and talk about my likes for the episode. Most importantly, I love how they're handling Javi's arm storyline. I didn't really mention it too much in the previous episode because even though Billy said that, there's no way to reverse this, I watched Power Rangers. I wasn't too sure if they were actually going to take it to its logical conclusion and just have him, reverse it in the next episode. But lo and behold, they did it. Javi has a cybernetic arm going forward, and that is a monumentous decision from Power Rangers because it's not one that I would have expected. Now, whether or not the Morphin Masters, once they get freed eventually, if they'll be able to reverse his whole arm situation, who knows? But for now, that decision is permanent, and they're allowed time to breathe with this decision. Javi is incredibly bummed about all of this. He's lamenting about the fact that he no longer has an arm. He's lamenting about the fact that even when he gets his cybernetic arm, that's not the same. He has to get used to it. That he can't, play guitar with that cybernetic arm anymore. This is a big thing for him. I didn't expect this kind of gravitas from Power Rangers. Had this been an earlier season, let's say Beast Morpher, any of the Neo Saban seasons up until Beast Morphers, with Beast Morphers being a Hasbro season, I would not have expected this. I would have expected them to reverse this decision in the same episode. But to keep it going and to make this a permanent decision for Javi and for him to just have a cybernetic arm going forward is a big decision. And bravo, it shows the lengths that the writers are willing to go to, and it shows the lengths that they're able to go to without having those executive mandates, over them this whole entire time. And bravo, I'm so happy that they're able to do this. I can't wait to see what Javi's adjustment to his cybernetic arm looks like in future episodes. Additionally, like I just said, this episode gives everyone a chance to breathe. It gives Izzy a chance to breathe with Fern. It gives Izzy a chance to catch up with her. It gives them a chance to check in with their Earthlings and make sure that they're all brought up to speed. As I mentioned before, Tarek offers the Ravkonians and their troops to help whenever Lord Zed does come down to Earth. And we get a chance for Ion to worry about Zeto's whereabouts because that's his best friend. His best friend's only been back alive for, maybe a few hours at the most? So for him to be gone again, that's disheartening. And that's a scary thing, for him to go through. He doesn't want to lose his best friend again. He lost him for 6 months. He doesn't want to go through any of that again. And even Lonnie, Dr. Akana, and Amelia are given a chance to breathe and lament about the fact that Ollie's evil again. And they don't know for sure if they're going to be able to snap him out of it. As we see in this episode, they're not able to. And this is kind of the way the facts are at the moment. Amelia is the one who has to rally the team together and tell them, hey, at the end of the day, as long as we have each other, even if things are seeming dire at the moment, as long as we have each other, that's what's important. We will get Zato back. We will get Earth back. We'll be able to defeat Lord Zed, and we'll get Ollie back somehow, even if the immediate plan or that immediate future doesn't look very bright. As long as we have each other, everything's going to be okay. And additionally, I couldn't talk about this episode without talking about my favorite comedic bits in the episode. So first and foremost, Jane and Jayborg have a good comedic bit here. While they're in the cafe eating their mini Flargon cake, when they hear about Lord Zed, I think it's either Jane or Jayborg floats the idea of telling him that all the Earthlings have gone off to vacation on Venus. And without missing a beat, Warden Garcia says, but once he finds out that that's a lie, he's going to come right back here. And it's just perfect delivery from everyone involved. They just made me laugh. And the fact that they thought that that was going to be a worthwhile plan, bravo. Absolutely bravo. And even Squillia and her mom get some good comedic moments here. So Dewdrip ends up stealing Squillia's Mega Squidrill. And there's a perfect moment later on in the episode, just before the Rangers are about to go out and onto the surface of Dinohenge. Billy says something along the lines of, it's an honor to fight along the younger generation. And Ion, without missing a beat, responds with, remember, I'm the older generation. Because he obviously is. He's been on Earth for 65 million years, even though he was in stasis. And Izzy even brings this up, says that, technically you were in stasis. So you're not really the older generation, when technically he is. And Amelia, again, exercising leadership skills, says, hey, we agreed not to talk about this, remember? We need to focus on the immediate events that are going on right now. Bravo from everyone involved. And then there are some callbacks to, season 1 and season 2 of Dino Fury between using the cure that worked last time on Ollie to cure him again, or at least attempting to use that, to using the Dinohenge, or using the contraption Dr. Akana built to siphon energy from the Dinohenge statues, again, to try and help use that to cure Ollie. Again, it just more payoff for people who watched Dino Fury Season 1 and 2. It's not necessary, but just gives you more to work with when you're actually watching Cosmic Fury. And it just shows that the writers didn't forget about all that stuff. It's stuff that you can use and it's worthwhile. Oh, and one more thing is Fern feeling sick after teleporting into the Dinohenge base. She said that I think that I left my stomach back on the surface, and that's funny because, again, it's more payoff for people who watched Dino Fury because this echoes Ollie's sentiments that he was getting sick after his initial bouts of teleportation. Now, I assume the more Fern teleports, or if she has more opportunities to teleport, she's going to get used to it, or maybe that'll just be a running gag with Fern going forward. Who knows? And two more things I liked in this episode. One, the cinematography. I haven't really had a chance to mention it thus far, but the cinematography in Cosmic Fury is really, really good. I can't really describe too well what makes it good, but the best way I can describe it is specifically in the Dinohenge base, it seems like the lights are dimmer, and I think that was a big problem in Seasons 1 and 2, when the lights just were really bright in their default state. Whenever they dimmed them down, Dinohenge, the base looked so much better. So the lights appear to be dimmer. Additionally, the angles and just the shots appear to be just tighter, more, I guess, focused in on the Rangers themselves, and just makes things look a lot better. Of course, I am watching this in 4K, so that might also have something to do with it. But yeah, just the cinematography in this season looks a lot better. But circling back to, stakes and, that kind of thing, this season does have a slightly more mature air that we carry over from Season 2 of Dino Fury. I'm saying this because when Ollie is convincing Lord Zed that he's still evil, Ollie grabs his sword and throws it like a javelin toward Amelia, and she dodges. Now, I thought that she dodges completely, but she didn't. Ollie did nick her, and it showed that there was some blood on her cheek, and she even touches it to see the blood. Now, we don't see the blood on her fingertips, but, we understand that she's seeing the blood in that moment, and she's recognizing that Ollie is still evil if he would try to injure her like that. And that's a big moment because just back in Dino Fury Season 1, remember, Zato got slashed by an enemy, point blank, not morphed, just slashed. And he walked away from that encounter with no damage, no injuries whatsoever. His shirt was fine, his body was fine, no blood, no tears to his clothes, nothing. So to go from that in Dino Fury Season 1 to this in Cosmic Fury where we're actually getting a scar, or not a scar, but an injury, a visible injury on somebody with blood, that's a huge jump, and it's something that I missed from previous Power Rangers seasons where the Rangers would have visible injuries, because it does help you get more engrossed in the show itself. Is it necessary? Not really, but again, anything that will help you get more engrossed in the show itself is a positive in my book. And those are really all my positives for the episode. I don't have any dislikes. I genuinely do think that this is just a perfect episode as is. Yeah, I don't have any dislikes. So let's go ahead and just jump on over to my conclusion, which I will just read again from the script. So, Beyond Repair gives the Rangers a moment of respite in this fight against Lord Zed, but not enough that things necessarily slow down. They're allowed a chance to check in on their loved ones, loop in everyone minus Garcia's in to help, and come to terms with their current situation. Javi's arm situation provides a shocking amount of drama that we haven't gotten in Power Rangers in a long time, or at least in the main show. This further shows that the main show can have that dramatic tension even beyond just a single episode with less mandates. Again, this is another great episode, another great showing from Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, and I can't wait to watch the rest of this season. But that's all the time we have for today. Again, thank you for watching. I'm Dr. Zio. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, good night, good week, wherever you are watching this. I'm Dr. Zio, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao.